Hello there, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Batman Arkham City on New Game Plus difficulty, and this is the epilogue to my no upgrade run guide. We are on part 23, and we are Catwoman. This is the fourth mission with her, and just as in, what are we doing here? We are retrieving something from her apartment. I didn't catch what that was on the screen. Because I was trying to mention that just as in the first mission with her when we were tasked with going to her apartment, we are similarly tasked with going into her apartment, but this time when we go inside, we're going to get an explosion and get thrown out of the window via that fiery explosion that I alluded to. And I think at this point her costume will be cut up, sort of giving her one of her new 9 lives, and just 4 thugs to deal with down here. And this is kind of a long section. We're gonna have a couple of big brawls, maybe just one. I think just one like large-scale brawl, and then one pretty difficult predator section. Okay, so we now have another checkpoint, and now our goal is to go to the museum. And I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but when you are going up the buildings and it grades you on how well, you see where it says to the left, too early, perfect, good, all these too late, too early. I hate that. It never really gets in my way too much, but it seems like something that's just completely unnecessary. So anyway, we cannot go into the museum until we secure this area. And to secure this area, we need to deal with these thugs here. So there's one guy with a shield, a couple of carbon copy guys with that particular mask there, and we will be running up with Two-Face in a moment. And I quite enjoyed this. I remember, well, when I first started doing this, I didn't know if I had done it. Like when I was redoing this for the guide, I couldn't remember if I ever took the time to do it originally when the game came out. And when I got to Two-Face at the end, he's not really a boss. He's not even a boss. He's just a final target in a stealth section. I remember that I had done it. So what I'm going to be doing, okay, so we have a very large scale brawl coming up. And with the now those are the caltrops right there. All those things that make the enemies trip up, and you can get a ton of the takedowns, the ground takedowns with those things, which I'm going to be doing in the next chapter. I should also mention that you have a limited amount of those that you can throw in per battle, just three throws of the caltrops. I'm probably saying that wrong, but you do have unlimited throws with the bolus, and I did want to note that you can throw the bolus 3 times per attack without losing your combo. So if you throw it a 4th time, you will lose your combo. And well, I was going to say that, did I ever get the blade takedown for her? I think I did. I think it just carries over, but if it doesn't, I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, I was kind of improvising over here. I didn't know if this would really work, but instead of throwing, instead of just sliding under there, I was trying to throw the caltrops under the door to slip everybody up, and it didn't really work too well up until they all ran up to me, and then they all fall, and you can get a bunch of these ground takedowns. So get as many of these as you possibly can. I mean, I've gotten about 4 at one point without getting hit. Now, admittedly, it's just 4, but when you think about it, I think there's 20 people in this room, so that brings it down by 4. And I struggled pretty mightily on this, to be honest. But when you think about it, all you really have, like the biggest targets here are just the guys throwing chairs. You might have a guy with a knife or 2, and maybe one guy with a shield, but the majority of it's not too bad. I mean, there's no taser guys, there's no heavies, nothing like that. Just all standard thugs for the most part. I'm talking about like the majority of them. And I was having fun here, and what I was mentioning before was that I will be bringing you Harley Quinn's Revenge, but it doesn't have difficulty settings, so I'm trying to go through it without taking any damage. And so far it has not been hard to do that, although I'm stuck on one section that I really shouldn't be getting stuck on, because it's just a scenario where it's a stealth section with 4 guys, but it's in a very awkward area, and it's been taking me about 35 minutes, and I'm starting to really get irritated. But I'll persevere. I mean, I persevered for 8 hours on the Hades Cerberus breeder boss fucking fight, didn't I? And I came through, and I was successful, and I was proud. So you don't really see fights like this in Arkham Asylum, because those fights were they're tempered quite a bit. I don't know if it was limited by the actual technology, but I don't think it was, because that game was pretty advanced. Maybe they just thought that with the open world system in this game, you know, it was more room equals more enemies. Maybe that was what it was. So we're going to get a final kick on that guy. We're going to slide under this, and we're going to go up this away. And I think what we have left is just a final stealth section. But it's quite hard, you guys. Quite hard. Oh no. Well, it is coming up. But this is the torture chamber near the iceberg lounge. So do right trigger plus A to climb under here. And this is the way to go here. You do not need to worry about Jaws, because he's not around. I guess they retired his ass out. But maybe he is in there lurking down in the muddy water like Jason Voorhees, ready to come and get you.
How deep do you think it is?
Okay, so I think we do have one small confrontation with these guys. Why do they repeat the same enemy 3 times? Like, it's the same enemy. Anyway, there you go. Nice job. We did a pretty good job. And now we're gonna hustle our way over here and then do this section. Now, this is pretty problematic, because what you have is you've got Two-Face in the middle with another guy helping him out, trying to see where Catwoman is, where she is. And it's kind of similar to the conceit in the stealth section with Batman that we did with Hugo Strange, kind of giving the enemies a heads up. You know, Batman's over there, Batman's right behind you. Same kind of thing, where the guys up on the main bridge will alert the enemies if they see them. So it's actually quite forgiving, because most of the time they're not really directly looking at you. So, and let me see, are there heavies here or not? No, I don't think they even put heavies here. Now, do you see the life bar up on the top right? That represents Two-Face's health, and because everything about him is binary, they've put like 2 squares, like 2 different color schemes for his health bar. But all you really need to do is make sure you subdue everybody before you take him out, or it's never going to work. And indeed, I think he may have gotten a shot at me. In fact, I know something did go wrong, but I still was able to just punch my way through, and it worked well. But it's far from perfect, but this was actually quite a good run I had here for the stealth section. So what I do is I clear all the guys on the top floor, and then I go for all the guys on the bottom floor. Now, the guy that I'm looking for You can probably tell he's the one that's under the stairs, and he will be coming around presently. Right about now. There he is. So we're going to jump down there. And the nice thing about his location is that enemies cannot see us because there's a wall. See the wall right there? So we're going to take him out. And all these are silent kills. And I don't think they have the heart monitors on them. So as long as you do the kills silently, you know, no one's ever going to come after the fallen body. And it's quite a refreshing end to the game, I would say, even though there is some DLC after this, which I'll be bringing to the channel. Hopefully no damage. And I might also bring some of the side quests too, because I really do enjoy the Mad Hatter side quest, because it's reminiscent of the Scarecrow section in Arkham Asylum. Maybe a little too reminiscent, but the Scarecrow section was so wonderful in an Asylum that anything that tries to, you know, imitate it, you know, I think it's really good because it's done in a tasteful and respectful way. Okay, so 2 guys left. I'm trying to see which one is Two-Face. And you just have to be very careful. I mean, all you're going to be doing is crawling up to the one that's not Two-Face and taking him out. And I did this wrong because I didn't do it perfectly. To do it perfectly is to do it correctly. And all that means basically is that there is time enough to strangle the guy who's not Two-Face before the ladder turns around. I just didn't time it correctly because I think I was getting quite a bit impatient. And you could easily fail here by getting a perma-stun by either one of them. And there is always the option of using your gadgets if you want to try to trip them up. Because when you use your caltrops, they do slip. So here this is. I could actually, what I should have done is just done the knockout smash, because that would have propelled me right over to Two-Face and I could have smashed him. You know, do the good old smash and bash and just take this guy down, and I will see you in Harley Quinn's Revenge. Take care.